Okay, here we got Kaiser here with his Spike Brothers deck profile, recently been updated with the set 10 Break Ride.
I could have sworn this was golds. You just told me we were playing golds. Yeah, it's Spike Brothers. And the starting is Mecha Trainer. It's basically a Conroe clone. I'm sure by now you will know how good Conroe is, considering it's getting limited. It's getting limited, right?
He's limited in Japan. Yeah, it's limited in Japan.
Fair enough.
We don't know about here yet.
So, yes, such as any grade 1 for a single counterblast, and you've got quite a few tech choices to choose from in this deck. Standard trigger lineup. 4 heals there. 4 draws there. 4 crits. And another 4 crits.
Would you play any more crits if they were available? There's only 8 crits available at the moment, isn't there? Otherwise you'd be forced to play stand if you had no draws.
Yeah, I think stand is a bit silly in this deck, because obviously you really got to go back, so you essentially stand them anyway.
Yeah.
And now you say 12 crits. I think that's interesting, but because you have cards like Dudley Emperor in the deck where you have to ditch cards from your hand, it's nice to have the draw, as you're only losing 5 cards.
It's a standard ratio for what they've got. They haven't got much trigger support out.
No, they've basically got no choice. Like, this is the standard vanilla lineup that you really should play.
You'll just see that anyway.
You can play stands.
Silence Joker, Damage and Flipper as well.
Yeah, but I think you should rarely ever use
well, in Spike you use them as shield, you need them as shield.
Unless you absolutely have to get 2 counterblast for a final turn for this push.
Fair enough.
Or need the soul. But I think there's very few uses.
4-4 lineup there.
Very few uses for that silence trigger. We'll start off with your vanilla. Ice Shield 21.
No, it's 1-1.
Oh, right, sorry. It's quite a good defensive ride.
I don't know how many of you guys are going to get the reference.
No. We've got Dudley Daisy there. I see a lot of people playing like the Dudley cards, and they're quite good if you play Jelly Beans to search them out, but I just like this one tech. Because if you have it in the deck and you do need like a little extra push.
It's not bad, I mean it will help you with the first turn rush, grade 1 rush down.
Yeah, there is that. It's a 7k helps with that.
A lot of people are riding 7ks nowadays.
If you're in the late game pushing for whatever reason you've only got the 1 column free, you can call that, counterblast 1 if you've got 1 spare, and it's a 12k boost rule or something.
Pretty solid.
But with this deck and the power it's playing out, it might not be as necessary as...
I guess.
It's just an interesting tech choice for now. 2 medical managers. I don't think you need more than 2 because as there's a bit of a soul demand in the deck, there's not a huge soul demand. So you get this guy out, and you don't necessarily need it all the time, but having 1 or 2...
So when you called him soul charge, right?
Basically. So you only really need to get 1 of those off per game max. 4 Reckless Express.
A grade 1 Juggernaut.
There's a lot of these clones in the deck, and that's for a good reason, so you can maximise your number of attacks per turn.
And comboed with a breakaway can be very dangerous.
Oh yeah.
22 on his own.
If you happen to have these things as boosters, like very early game, you can call them out late game, and that's a 22 attacker right there.
If you've got breakaway off. 12 by itself anyway.
And that's not bad, because you can just like tag it out, tag more things back in and more attacks.
The gladiator beasts of the card fight world.
And 3 null guards, because there isn't a lot of space for grade 1s, and seeing as it's a rush deck, the game's going to be over quite quickly, so you don't need a prolonged game. These guys just keep you alive a little bit longer.
These guys keep you alive a bit longer. I think spikes weren't really built for late game.
No, you can play them that way.
You can.
I like to play them that way in a sense.
Although nowadays, with the breakaway about, you can play a bit longer. You've got a bit more longevity in it.
It's more because everyone's playing break rides there.
Yeah.
Their end game setup's going to be a bit...
It's going to be delayed, and so's yours. But
there is that. I would agree. You can probably get away without playing the break ride, but it sets you up for much more pressure. 4 Bracky. It's another of the Reckless clones. Another one of your tag outs.
Soul Blast, plus 5k, tags out.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
So 14 on his own, 24 with break ride.
And this is your rush ride. Like, on turn 2, if you can ride that and have like a ton of rear guards to play, or call it late, when you've got like 6 and you can use it with the break ride skill, it attacks for 17 and you get a draw off if it hits.
Kiss the Vanguard, right?
Yeah, it has to hit the Vanguard when you've got 4... Is it 4 more rear guards?
Yeah, it's 4 more rear guards.
It's a bit of a gamble, but when it pays off, you can really get a lot of pressure to set yourself
I tend to find them quite useful. They do pay off.
I would say a lot of the time, but not all of the time. But I quite like riding this guy here, Dudley Mason. It's not a bad call, not a bad ride.
Grade 2 version of Dudley Emperor, really.
In a sense, but he has to hit, and it's the counterblast 1, you get a bit of pressure, you can call an extra rear guard for another attack.
It's like a worse version of Fallon. No, not Fallon, Escalade.
Escalade, yeah. It's
Escalade's plus 1, this one is break even, right?
Yeah. Basically. But I think if they had that, it would be a bit too much. And finally, this is a defensive tech I play in the deck. If you feel like you've got, like you're not going to push the game, and you want one more turn, calling these guys out as rear guards using Dudley Emperor can keep you alive for an extra turn.
Yeah, well, I think my deck is pretty much the same up until that bit. I play Treasure Black Panther. It's 10k vanilla rather than a 10k intercept.
That's also quite defensive in a sense, but I like this as just like a little backup plan, so it's like your plan B, obviously you gamble
I
on
think
the
literally that is the only difference we have in deck.
Essentially, incoming to the grade 3s as well. When you free the break ride, the skill is when you ride a Vanguard, the Vanguard gets 10k, and any other rear guard you're attacking with gets 10k. So if you think about it, you're going to get 4 rear guard attacks in that one turn. You're gaining 40k attack right there from that one break ride alone.
And plus the Vanguard attack as well. So 5 pretty strong attacks.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to need to guard a lot of that. It doesn't get a crit, but that's not a huge problem with this.
The way you play spikes is, or the way I found the best way to play spikes is, just if you are unsure of what your opponent has in hand, just think of them all as 10k shields, and then just total up how many cards they will need to guard each attack, and you can pretty much guarantee yourself the
That's
game.
why I quite like poking with these things, because even if it's a 5, if they do have all 10s in their hand, it's going to take out the one card at least.
So it's pretty good.
Okay, one little tick. Juggernaut Maximum, because I found occasionally, when you're attacking for your final push, one of these 2 slots is going to be empty.
If it is empty, yeah.
So you can call it here. If you have like a 7 there, you can call it Bracky. So you're pushing for 16 there, pushing for 11 here, but they're going to get a bit of a boost anyway. But it just helps hit good numbers on 11k Vanguards.
Which there are a lot of nowadays. Well, until Crosswides come back.
And for Dudley Emperor, main gambit of the deck, you don't always need to get the break ride off. If you feel like you can finish them turn 3, ride this and just beat the hell out of their face.
You will need a good field setup though. You will need stuff that can tag out on either side.
So if you do get your field driller set up off, it means you've probably got a lot of rear guards and you've got a bit of draw power.
So like you've got brackies on either side, so you can to get the maximum number of attacks you will need brackies and stuff on either side. However, if you break ride, you can have anything on the side columns really, can't you?
So an ideal field setup would look something like that. Obviously a 7k there is good, but in this scenario, this is more than likely. And obviously you can call a Juggernaut back out, and you're pushing for a lot more as well. Okay. And his effect, if you don't already, is Counterblast 2. 2 cards from your hand go into Soul. And you can call any 2 rear guards from your deck out here. So you've got a lot of tech to play with, and it's...
I can see this is where your 10k interceptors can come in, if you want to play
you can call these out and give you an extra turn, basically. It's 20k guard right there. Although it doesn't combo very well with Banner and Dragon because they have to go back to the deck a bit on the side. If they do attack, rather. Alright, that was the deck. I hope you guys like it, and if you've got any feedback for us, leave it in the comment section. See you guys in the next video.